How you doing, everyone? He's Tim Murray. I'm Michael Jenkins. We make up the Daily Line on NBC Sports Radio. We have a new NBA champion, the Toronto Raptors, knocking off the Golden State Warriors, Tim. So now the speculation is already moving ahead to next season and the NBA offseason, which should be very, very interesting. And when we look at the odds for 2020, you have the favorite, the Los Angeles Lakers at 9-2, Bucks 6-1, Clippers 6-1, Rockets 8-1, Raptors 10-1. We could go down the list. But
wait, you didn't mention anyone named the Golden State Warriors?
14-1.
Wow.
Who are now more of a medical ward than an actual basketball team with Klay Thompson tearing his ACL.
14-1.
Yeah.
Team who has been the last 5 NBA Finals. I get it, but man, it's hard to see that number. 14-1.
What we've seen in Golden State during the past 5 years, it's over.
Let
me rephrase that. They're not going to be a losing basketball team all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But this era of dominance in
Sure.
which they go into every season as the odds-on favorite with everyone chasing them, that's done now.
Are the Warriors now a potential value play? Thinking about Klay Thompson, he could come back in March from that ACL tear. The issue with the Warriors is this, folks. You might think, well, with Kevin Durant being a free agent, Klay Thompson can become a free agent. Well, what if they both leave since they're both hurt? Well, can't you just bring in a Tobias Harris on a max deal? No, they're so far over the cap that if Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson left via free agency, Jenks, they cannot replace them.
And also, KD's gone. I don't think
it doesn't
KD
matter.
stays. Right.
It doesn't matter. If he opts in or signs a max deal or leaves, they can't replace him because they're so far over the cap. So it doesn't matter if he stays or goes. They can't really do anything aside from pay less luxury tax.
Right. He's a non-factor next year.
Exactly.
So ultimately, if you're looking at Golden State, you're looking at Steph Curry, Klay Thompson coming back from an injury,
Draymond Green.
I mean, and a bunch of guys on that roster who did not step up like they needed to, like the Raptors bench did, like the guys around the superstars in Toronto did. This Warriors team suffered from injuries and suffered by the fact that they're a little bit older, and the guys that used to contribute in the past, like an Andre Iguodala, for example, just aren't the same.
Yeah, despite what he did
was good in the final game.
In Game 6. But yeah, to your point, Sean Livingston and Draymond Green, a lot of these players. The curious factor is, what about a Boogie Cousins? If he's fully healthy, is he a 19-10 guy? But yeah, the Warriors right now, regardless, I don't think 14-1 is a good play when it comes to the Warriors. Real quickly though, just thinking back to starting this YouTube video and welcoming in the world champion Toronto Raptors, which is just crazy to think about. Before the Kawhi Leonard trade last offseason, Jenks, the Raptors were 55-1 to win the NBA championship. After the trade, it went down to 26-1 because still there was, well, how healthy is Kawhi Leonard? There were still questions. Before the season started, they were 18.5-1. So it's crazy to think back, man. If we could really get back in that DeLorean that I've been working on in my garage, that'd be nice.
Well, even before the NBA Finals, they were plus 230, the second biggest underdog in NBA history behind the Pistons in 2004, who went in at plus 500. So what the Raptors did, injuries or not, to the Warriors is pretty remarkable.
And right now, if you're going to play the futures market, it's about trusting your favorite insider at this point, whether that's Woj or whoever. You're trusting them and their intel at this point. So that's why you see a team like the Los Angeles Clippers, who showed promise beating the Warriors twice, a healthy Warriors team, a couple of times in the first round. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, young point guard. Lou Williams, who might be one of the most value players out there, just $8 million on the cap. Landry Shamet, Montrezl Harrell, Danilo Gallinari. They've got an opportunity to go after a guy like Kawhi Leonard. They're the leader in the clubhouse, according to multiple people, that they could land Kawhi Leonard. So we just saw Kawhi Leonard drag a team to the finals. Then his teammates certainly helped him out.
Would you touch the Clippers at 6-1?
It's pretty short.
With Kawhi baked in?
It's very short.
It's really short.
It's very short. So we're talking about the day after the NBA Finals, thinking about next year's NBA Finals, and we're only getting $6. It's
I'm not rolling with the Clippers at 6-1.
So a couple teams that intrigue me. There is the Raptors at 10-1,
Mm-hmm.
I would say a long shot, believe it or not, the Boston Celtics. Danny Ainge has been known to pull a rabbit or two out of his hat, and just stick with me here. They've got a great coach in Brad Stevens. It wasn't that long ago. It was a ridiculous argument, but people are making the argument, just how valuable is Brad Stevens? Is he, the fifth or sixth most important asset, including players in the league?
Sure.
Which was insane. But he is a great coach.
Sure.
He's a very good coach. So we have heard that Danny Ainge isn't afraid of what Rich Paul told Sports Illustrated, saying, you can have him for 1 year, but then he's gone. We just saw Kawhi Leonard go to Toronto, potentially for 1 year, Jenks, and get the ultimate, which is a championship. If the Boston Celtics can somehow get into the brain of Kyrie Irving, which I understand he might be long gone, but that's why we are gambling here.
Yep.
If he could say, hey, Kyrie, sign with us. We're going to go get AD. All the issues you had with the young guys and Jason Tatum, he's gone. We're going to have to trade him down to New Orleans. So now you've got Al Horford. You've got Gordon Hayward. Maybe he's back to what he once was in Utah after a full year plus coming off that leg injury. Kyrie stays. Anthony Davis for 1 year. 12-1. We're talking about value right now. There's not value at 6-1 on, in early June, whatever month we're in.
Well,
right
again,
now.
you're just rolling the dice on what you think will happen.
Right.
That's really what this bet is about. Now, in that scenario, would I love the Celtics at 12-1? Absolutely. The problem is I think Kyrie's gone.
Agreed.
I don't think he's going to play in Boston. And I think Anthony Davis is probably going to go to L.A., which is why the Lakers are 9-2. I like the Raptors at 10-1. I'm willing to take a flyer on the championship changing things for Kawhi and him saying, you know what? I will stay. I won a title with this group. Now the Raptors have some work to do this summer. But let's win another because I know I can win one here and now, which is why people like LeBron next season, which is why I like the Raptors. The West is going to be wide open. Without the Warriors there, you can win again with the Raptors. LeBron will have another chance at the title. As good as the Nuggets are, they're not a dominant team yet, so there's a lot of players out in the West, but I like the Raptors just with the idea that Kawhi stays put.
One final one that, look, once again, we are so far away, so much is going to happen, which makes this a fun conversation. The 76ers, Jenks, were a 4-bounce jump shot away from going to overtime in Game 7, potentially knocking off the world champion Toronto Raptors. They are as talented of a starting lineup, potentially, if Tobias Harris re-signs, which I don't think he will, but there's an if there. They could do it. Jimmy Butler comes back. Joel Embiid is fully healthy. Ben Simmons comes back. They get rid of J.J. Redick. Maybe they get a guy like Danny Green, who certainly didn't play well in Game 6, but we've seen moments. They get a shooter to replace J.J. Redick a little bit cheaper.
Clutch at times.
At 12-1, you're looking for value. The Sixers may be worth a long shot. Yeah, 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, Raptors, Celtics, Sixers, all 10, 12, and 12. Maybe worth a look. I tell you who's not worth a look, the New York Knicks at 20-1.
AD's not going there, even if he does.
He's not winning it by himself.
Exactly.
What, with RJ Barrett?
Him and a bunch of dudes? No.
No.
And KD's a year away at best. So, no, stay away from the Knicks. That's a bad bet.
And the Pelicans, folks, after they won the lottery, skyrocketed up to 25-1. Vegas says, yeah, it's 60-1 now.
Yeah.
We told you right away.
The
Pelicans don't do it. At 60-1, yeah, still don't do it.
The poor Raptors, they win their first ever NBA championship in franchise history. The next day, hey, what are you guys going to do next year? Less than 24 hours. Get out there and win another one.
He was asked about it on the getting his MVP trophy.
It's the age in which we live.
Yeah.
He's Tim Murray. I'm Michael Jenkins. We are The Daily Line. We'll see you next time.